Yo, we're live right here at the Dog Pound. Unfortunately, the dog will not be here tonight. He's training Ben, and they're getting ready for their big event. So, uh, Nick Brown, I see that you're in the audience, and K9 had said that we were going to get you on the show. K9 will be back in next week, and he says that he'll make sure that you get on with him. Uh, if we have a little time later on tonight, maybe we'll even let you in a little bit there. I see Herbivore is here. Tonight's guest will be John Scully. We're going to talk a little bit about the Dillian Whyte fight. I would really like to talk about the unretirement of Canelo. Anybody that wants to join in, I'm going to give a few people some chances to talk about those particular events. Demetrius Andrade will be also in the ring very shortly, hoping that he'll have another impressive outing so that he can possibly get the big fight that he wants with Canelo. Um, this unretirement thing by Oscar, I can't say it was a shock. Well, no, it was a shock, but it was also to me kind of a disappointment, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. Uh, so, Nick, how you doing, Nick? Yep, Steelers in the house. Joe Bundridge, Jesus for Life. How you doing, Joe? King Kong. King Kong, if you get a chance here, come on in the building. I want to talk a little bit, see what you think about what's going on with the Canelo thing. Uh, once again, we've heard now that Sean Porter has tested positive for COVID. So we have to see how that's going to play out. Even though the fight is almost 2 months off, uh, we don't know what medical complications this is going to bring about, simply because, we've never had a fighter that's tested positive this far out from a fight. Usually it's, like they have to fight within a few weeks and, they're tested positive for COVID. They have to go in quarantine, so forth and so on. But this does have a possibility of at least being rescheduled. So we'll see, how far this is also taken out. Everybody wants to fight Manny Pacquiao, figuring Manny's over the hill. We see all kinds of, I think the latest rumor, because it hasn't been signed yet, but the latest rumor in the heavyweight division is a Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder. Once again, as I stated many times earlier on the show, and while K9 was here, is that this is going to lead, I think, to a great devalue in the purses of Deontay Wilder. I mean, are you going to get the same money to fight a Dillian Whyte that you would have gotten to have a trilogy with Fury or that first fight with Joshua? Of course not. K9 is always quick to point out you got a whole country behind him. So, that's definitely somewhat of a different racehorse here. I'm going to pull up a few things from Ring Magazine, and just to get an idea some of the things that are definitely coming up. And I see I've gotten my latest notices from the Zone and a few others about some of the big fights that are coming up. Let's go with some of the key dates here. April 3rd in Dubai, you have Jamel Herring against Carl Frampton for the WBO lightweight title. April 10th, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Joe Smith versus Maxim Velasov for the WBO light heavyweight title. Uh, April 24th, of course, you have Emmanuel Navarrete versus Christopher Diaz for the WBO lightweight title. May 8th, the Zone, Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Sanders for unification. And May 22nd, Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor, 12 rounds for the WBC and WBO titles, and Taylor's WBA and IBF. It's another unification bout. So we're having the WBO is moving right along here and providing a big audiences. Let's see. April 10th, United Kingdom. April 17th, of course, we have Jake Paul versus Ben. We have Rougarou versus Even Redcatch. Should be a great fight. Steve Cunningham versus Frank Mir. Steve's kind of like doing a couple 4-rounders here. Right here in LA on Fox, we have Tony Harrison coming back. He'll be fighting Brian Perella. Hopefully we can get one, if not both of these gentlemen on the show. Omar Juarez versus Jesse Roman. Another great fight. April 23rd, UFC. Heather Hardy versus Jessica Kamara. Karina Moreno versus Natalie Gonzalez. And Melissa St. Ville will be back in the ring. She'll be doing an 8-rounder. Haven't seen Melissa in a while. We'll have to see if we can get her back on. Low ball of energy, Melissa. Let's see. Okay. Who do you think is Golden Boy's best young fighter? Ryan Garcia or Virgil Ortiz? Some of the questions I'd like to go with our audience tonight. Another question: what did you think about Canelo's coming out of retirement? And of course, the great heavyweight controversy: Joshua versus Fury. Will we have it? Where will it be? Fury says he's not going to fight in Europe, but yeah, I mean, when it's Wembley Stadium, you have to come through. Let's see. They're telling me my camera's a little out of frame here. Okay, let's see. Is that better? How's that? That should be much better. Okay. All right. Okay. They tell me that's better. K9 said in his support for the Dog Pound, letting us know that he's in camp, getting Ben ready. Hey, Nick, see you next week. So, yeah. as I said, if you think that you might want to come in, make some remarks, just hit the comment line, and we'll see what we can do about getting you in tonight. Um, Once again, I did want to get Lamon on the show, heavyweight champ, to talk about the situation and uh, the whole effect on a young man like Deontay Wilder. Um, I guess it's an intriguing fight for those that uh, want to see Deontay back in the ring. Right now, Dylan would be somewhat of his cash cow, and by that I mean there's really no one else that's going to offer substantial millions for Deontay to fight. Um, I don't think we want to see uh, him in with any of his previous opponents. Okay. Uh, SB, just let me know if Scully or any of those guys come in. I guess you could hit me up in the chat. Scully is back once again training, and we saw what his fighter Benavidez. He knocked off the ring rust and again put up a very good performance. We like to see Benavidez back in the ring. When you talk about light heavyweights, of course, you have to put Benavidez up there in the top conversation. I'd also like to talk about what you guys think about the Sean Porter fight. Should it be off? Should it be on? A lot of people in the comments. Herbie Voice says Whyte versus Wilder would be very interesting. Don't blink during the fight. Herbie Voice in Germany. Looking for some of our usually we have some of our English guys here in the queue tonight too. And of course, I do miss my Mike Tyson. I don't think we've had Mike Tyson on the show since we went live. K9, we have to get Mike back on the show. I miss Mike. Okay, so excuse me for 1 minute here. I have to get back. Okay. So I don't know if anyone else had seen this, but we also have a couple of exhibitions up here in June coming, and that's Marquez and Cotto fighting an exhibition. We all know about the Pac-Man and Crawford are discussing a fight in June. But okay, maybe if I start talking about it first, we can get more people in to talk about it. Okay. Where do I begin? Oscar de la Hoya. That's where I began. When I saw Oscar take the podium and say that he was going to fight again, I was very disappointed. And the reason why I say that is because once again, I think it it does a disservice to our sport. And let me explain why I say that. Number one, boxing is a young man's sport. To see, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, to see, these legends go back in the ring. To me, you not only put your image at risk, but you put the risk of the fans' adoration. You also put that at risk. And I can give you many examples. Look at Muhammad Ali, you look at Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, and you can go down the line about fighters that have decided to make their comebacks or decided that they wanted to give it one more shot in the ring. We can see what happened to even a young Mike Tyson. But Oscar, I don't, maybe my old eyes have fooled me, but Oscar has to get back in good in shape to begin with. That's one. Oscar, I think at this point, Oscar's like that old man that goes out and buys a Corvette. And I can say that because I am an old man. I don't own a Corvette. I don't know if I had that kind of money, but anyway, you want to have a pissing contest with everybody. Now, I immediately thought of a couple things when I heard this. The first thing that I was thinking about, because we have a gentleman like Mike Weber and Fight TV, and they did the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones thing, I immediately contacted Mike Weber. And the reason why I contacted him is because I'm thinking, okay, one or two exhibitions. And then we have the rematch with Floyd. Okay. And I'm thinking this because of guys like K9 and other guys that I've heard of, talking about the business of boxing. So if Ben Askew and Jake Paul can make money, why couldn't we make money with an Oscar Floyd rematch? So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of publicity. I'm thinking of maybe a couple Oscar cashes in on his name a couple times, and they make this thing with Floyd, and they both go riding off into the sunset. Maybe who knows? Even with in the pandemic, I'm sure this is something that you're thinking of somewhere down the line. Especially when you think of some of the other sports. Football is talking about opening up to full stadiums. So if you're talking about football opening up to full stadiums, even though they're outside, I mean, there are plenty of places where we can throw this exhibition outside. If not Vegas, we have venues here in California, you have venues in Texas, you have venues in Florida. So you could easily place this at an outside venue and pick up your money from pay-per-view, or uh, live streaming. So that was my first thought. Then my second thought was this nonsense about Oscar fighting Canelo. Once again, thinking from a business point of view and a business point of view only, this could make sense. But could you find a boxing commission that would sanction it? Once again, thinking like a businessman. Okay. You do it in Dubai or you do it in somewhere. I knew K9 would say, I knew K9 would chime in if we, when I start talking about Oscar. Hey, I can't wait for him to get back next week because you know, I'm going to be talking big trash about this one here. Because I mean, come on, Oscar's not going to fight anybody that's a threat. And K9, you said that last week when I saw you when you were telecasting the Povetkin fight. So, you know, I mean, it sounds good, K9. But I'm kind of like the crying hippie here. I'm not going to say that he would he'd be scared, but it would be very foolish. You being the threat that you are. Even you know, I mean, you're an Oscar close in age, the whole 9 yards. So call the press if Ben is cool with it and pump you out as his main trainer. Crying hippie, where's is crying hippie? Is he our guy from England? I see Vinny's in the house. How you doing, Vinny? Shout out to Vinny. Okay. Just remember, if you want to come in and talk a little bit about some of our subjects here, just give us a quick notice, and I will definitely pop you in. I see it's coming down pretty close to the 9:30 hour. K9, I will not cry. I will knock Oscar out. Yeah, see, K9, you got to learn how to hide in the bushes and do like the Indians did. you know. But that being said, you know, I mean, I think this K9 and Oscar would be a good fight. I don't really see an advantage one over the other, except for the fact that I think that now K9, Oscar might have to come down to your weight. Last I saw Oscar, like I said, he looked a little heavy around the waist there. See Lonnie Beasley in the house. What's going on, Lonnie? Don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you know to hit the like button. That's the thumbs up button. Support K9, the Dog Pound, and our efforts here every Tuesday evening. You can also, you know, hit the donate button. You know, we always, you know, find ways to give back to the community, whether it's the extra videos that you see from K9 on Sunday, uh, the fights, that K9 personally narrates, the live sparring, all of these things. Your donations help. Uh, let's see. Crying hippie. K9 and Floyd would be cool to see if you take the champ out. But JT would be just as awesome to fight him and experience the top rank. Win or lose, it's very experienced. Okay. Uh, K9 says he'd knock out Floyd, Oscar, and Cotto all in the same week. Okay, well, see, hey, goes to show. See, K9's getting a little smarter. See, when he was probably 10 years ago, he would have said uh, all in the same day. But he knows he needs a couple of days between each one now. That's my man. That's my man. That's my man's in them. I love it. Uh, but little K9 is also away with the big dog. Helping Big Ben, helping Ben get ready. Uh, Trying hippie, you sound like you have it looks like you have a long history with the sport here. So uh, maybe if Crying Hippie's, I believe he said he was from Canada. So they should also be picking up there. I'm interested to see how long it's going to be before they start letting people in and opening up these venues. Uh, President Biden has promised that if you're uh, over the age of 60, you should be able to get a shot by the 15th of April. And shortly after that, by June, it should be, I believe it should be available to anyone that wants it. And I bring this up because, as I said earlier, the NBA is talking about opening up stadiums, uh, fully opening them up by uh, the beginning of next season. Now, you do have certain facilities that are closed, such as the one in Pontiac, Michigan, where the Lions make their home. I would say play football, but then I looked at their record last year. So anyway, where the Lions make their home. So I see Gorilla Drew is in the house. Uh, I'm here from Ben Askren from Ryan G Podcast. Am I in the right place? Yes, Tim, you are definitely in the right place. SB, if you see Tim, if you can possibly send Tim a link, and let's see if we can get Tim on here for a minute. Sorry about that, messing with my camera here. So, yeah, Tim, we're going to send you a link. Okay, K9 just sent a link. So, Tim, if you can see that link, press on that link, and I'd like to see if we can get you on. Mr. Tomlin, what's up, Ty? Uh, we just had Ty on the show not too long ago. Hey, anytime I see somebody named Tomlin on the end of this, hey, goes along with that Pittsburgh logo there. So, yeah, if we could possibly get Mr. Thongon in. In the meantime, I'll go on here with my other little rant, and that's Manny Pacquiao versus Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford. It's a very inopportune time for Terrence Crawford to get COVID. But it's also far enough away to where he can be quarantined, he can get over the COVID, and we can still have this fight. The fight is more than 60 days away. Now, does this make it easier for Terrence Crawford to, bypass Sean Porter? Yes, it does. Does it also mean that let's weigh the options here. Are you going to get more money fighting Sean Porter? You're going to get more money fighting Manny Pacquiao. But Bud kind of intrigues me though, because I don't really know what to make of Bud. Bud has been sensational for the sport of boxing when he's in the ring. But some of his some of the things, his strategies outside of the ring are very puzzling. I understand the monetary value. I understand what what you want to get paid versus your worth. Okay. Now, I would never think. Who do we have on? Who do we have up on the screen here?
Well, how's it going?
How you doing, Tim? I saw you came on the show and you were looking for K9. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you think Ben is going to beat Jake?
Uh, I mean, I just started started boxing about 2 weeks ago, but I've just been watching a lot of like MMA boxing. I'm 25, but I'm just doing it more for like fitness, cardio type stuff. And I mean, kind of like what Ben went over in the podcast, he was just talking about just actually being in the fire and like actually having amateur experience and like cage experience when the lights are on. That's like things like that.
So, what made you decide to take up boxing a couple of weeks ago? I mean, especially at your age. I mean, and I'm not saying that 25 is old, but I think you have to, to me, and I've never been in the ring professionally, or amateur, so I really don't know. But to me, it takes a special type of guy to get used to get hit in the face, and I mean, at 25 years old, I mean, the wear and the tears, on the body, plus, I mean, even though you say you're doing it for fitness, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm sure that, you still don't want to be the fat guy in the gym, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wrestled in high school, but then after high school, I just got into powerlifting. Did that about 3 or 4 years. Got bigger, gained some mass, and I mean, I just like I don't know the competitive aspect of it too, just like the one on one. I used to play tennis and I wrestled. It's just like just being just that one on one type thing. No teammates or nothing. It's just all on you type deal.
Uh, well, I mean, now we have K9 training Ben. Ben has been in the ring before, so I mean, it's one on one once the bell rings, but it's a lot of preparation in between that time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of these guys, have ran thousands of miles. I don't know, I mean, uh, I don't know if they still do it today to such an extent, but I remember, when guys used to measure the push-ups that they do during the day by the thousands. So did, uh, when you're talking about making a commitment to getting in shape, uh, how do you fit that into your time?
Uh, just kind of like planning it out. I mean, I am most my day job is basically a therapist at a correctional facility, so it's kind of just like also just a stress reliever in itself too, and just kind of taking care of myself and just kind of getting my mind off like my daily life type. And I go to like a pretty small like boxing gym. I kind of just joined it also to kind of support like a small local business too, just with things kind of how things are. Cause I used to go to like a big chain gym. I want and the gym I go now. There's like they have a cage and a ring, and I
Okay.
guess access to like weights too. But yeah,
You say you're a therapist at a correctional facility.
yeah.
Uh, so how does when you go to work, and I know, guys that in these correctional facilities, it's not like they have a lot to do. It's not like they're going to work and things like that. I mean, it might be different now under the
Mhm.
COVID, but, a lot of these guys spend their time, working out and, going on, walking the yard and things like that.
Mhm.
Do you think that this will help you in your job? I mean, a lot of times guys are more inclined to uh, be friendly toward guys that they have things in common with.
Mhm.
Do you think that could help you with your job, or do you think that might be a little competitive? Oh, look here, there's Officer Tim. Let's try him today.
uh, let's see. I've actually ran into like a couple like older guys that were like old school boxing fans that used to watch like Roy Jones and stuff. And they brought it up a couple times, but I haven't been a boxing fan like that long. I'm more I like watch more MMA honestly. And I catch like the big boxing stuff, but I mean yeah, it's something to relate to. And it's kind of like also like different because they can't really watch pay per view in prison at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. There's no smartphones in prison, right? You can't watch. They can't pull you up on YouTube or anything like that. Yeah. Uh,
Mhm.
so, so MMA. A lot of guys, we talk about the crossover sport and things like that. We have Clarissa Shields talking about crossing over to fighting MMA. We've had Conor McGregor come over and try to cross over into the boxing. Uh, so, uh, First of all, what was your fascination with MMA, and how did you make that transition? Was it because Ben was an MMA fighter? Is that why you're in Ben's corner? Of course, uh, you're muted.
Oh
We
no,
got
yeah.
okay. All right, there you go.
I guess it's just kind of like the wrestling background. I just like wrestling. I just started I did it all throughout high school, and I mean, it was just something to do at the same time. And let's see. I mean, I just like Ben overall more than just Jake Paul, like because I've seen a couple those Jake Paul fights, and they're kind of all right. I mean, for that time, for what it is. But then Ben Askren's like a real fighter. So
Okay, now there's rumors. Nobody's really seen the slip yet, but there's rumors that Dana White is betting $1 million on Ben. You gonna take? Would you be willing to take part of that bet?
let's see. Ooh, I'm not a big gambler, but why not?
So would you bet the house, the swimming pool, the dog's house?
Why not?
Yeah. So you're gonna be buying this fight when it comes up? Oh, come on now, you like Ben, but you can't. Oh man, come on.
I'll do my best. I might catch the highlights on YouTube or something.
Well, now you could always I don't know exactly what your situation is, but we should throw the fight parties, the way the fight is situated nowadays. You could you don't need a whole lot of people, but maybe have your boys pay for the fight. But what do you think about the type of money that these guys are making, man? I mean, these guys are actually making probably more money than they would for the average MMA fight. And I mean, as a fan, what do you think? I mean, the last fight, if you want to call it that, Jake just annihilated Nate Robinson. Do you think that this fight is going to go the distance, or are you looking for another knockout?
Hopefully Askren will knock him out, but I think it's pretty good. I mean, there've always been like things with contractual things with like the UFC, whatever. So I guess this is more between like Jake Paul and Ben Askren, more in their hands of wanting to get paid, getting Ben Askren will probably be paid the most he's been ever paid, honestly, from the numbers they ran through like Jake Paul and Nate Robinson's last fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, 600 grand to get that whooping. I guess it wasn't bad. It was the next day he was able to walk around. I haven't heard that the check bounced, so I guess Nate is satisfied. But what did you think about the fact that K9, two-time junior middleweight champ? Let me say that again. I can't quite do it like K9. Let's rewind it. Two-time junior middleweight champion of the world, training someone like Ben Askren. Now, I will admit, when I first saw Ben and K9 together, I was like, are you serious? I mean, Ben looked like he had 3 left feet, not just 2. But I see his footwork's improved a little bit. He seems to be sitting down more on his punches. So, what did you think when you watch Ben's progress under a great champion like K9?
I'm getting I was literally just getting ready to go and go look at the videos, but I mean, I've seen like most of his like striking training. They like he gets made fun of it for before like his previous striking and all his. There's like videos of him just compilations of him just looking funny striking and stuff. But I literally just got in here. I got in here clicking on his channel, looking for his videos, which I was just about to get ready to watch.
All right, well, you watch the videos. We still got a couple more weeks. Of course, we're going to have a Jake Paul fan here next week. He's been K9 promised him a spot, and that's Nick Brown. So we're definitely gonna have Nick Brown in. We're gonna try to make this you know, even on both sides. And I want to thank you for taking the time to come in. You can stay in the audience if you want to and listen with us for a little bit. But thank you for coming in. And uh, there's another gentleman that I'd like to have here. And I know he's up very late. If we could get Guard in here, I'd like that. But thank you so much, Tim. Why don't you tell people if you have any social media where they can find you, and if you want, any predictions or any final thoughts you have for our audience.
I'm pretty much off the grid, but predictions. Let's see. Askren hopefully will knock him out. What was it 8 rounds or something like what they're doing?
I think it is 8 rounds.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Then I mean I'm just excited to see just like a real fighter against Jake Paul because he's just fighting basically scrubs or athletes, but not like experienced as Askren. Then let's see. Then we also got Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Is that coming up sometime soon too?
Right now that's on. It's supposedly on hold. We haven't heard the final decisions on that yet, so we'll see. But you know, is it going to be Floyd versus Logan Paul, or is it going to be Floyd versus Oscar De La Hoya too?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But seems like something's in the works here. But thank you so much for coming in, Tim. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I see Guard is in from the UK. I'd like to talk to him. If Guard, if you see our link to get in, make sure you hit it. I want to talk about this Tyson Fury matchup here. Also, the Dylan White Povetkin thing. So we'll see exactly what's going on here. So I really would like to talk to Guard. If you can get in here, hit the link, join me, and hey, we'll give you 15 minutes of fame here. How's that? Okay. To carry on, we have another our young fighter that's going to be in here in about 10 minutes. Another young undefeated fighter, and he'll be fighting. I believe it's April 10th on ESPN. So make sure that you set your TV schedule to ESPN April 10th. Mr. Jeremiah Milton, I believe. Well, can't even see. I think me and Joe Biden had to drink out the same cup of tea. Seems like my memory's missing me a little bit tonight too. But once again, big shout out to K9 and the team going up there and putting the final touches. I guess it'll be the next 2 weeks. Well, actually, it might be a little more before training camp breaks up. So let's proceed. I think another question that I was asking tonight's audience that who do they think is the best, or who do they think, is the best young fighter that for Golden Boy right now? And that's Ryan Garcia or Virgil Ortiz. And those of you that have been listening to the show know that although I am high on Ryan, I do think that he could perhaps be the weakest link in that division, and that's not really a slight on Ryan. It's more or less to me about how talented the division is. There's a couple fights that we're all talking about here, and we do know that from the way things are shaping up, we are going to see some of the best fighting the best, especially as things ramp back up. Another question that I would also ask the audience is concerning how many people you would want to let back in an arena at a time. Would you feel safe if the whole state were open up, such as Florida and Texas? Or would you feel more safe in a venue such as, from what we've seen so far, that doesn't mean that things aren't going to change, but from what we've seen so far here in the state of California, where it does seem like we are definitely on the time frame, because it was said that we would not see any big crowds or live concerts until 2021, possibly 22. We're 3 months into 2021. We're talking about opening up venues a little bit more gradually by June. Excuse me. The president has said that we should be able to have barbecues and, excuse me, I have to get a drink here. That we should be able to have family outings, barbecues, and things like that, providing that they're kept to a nominal number by the 4th of July. Now, I don't know. Joe Biden says he has his finger on the pulse of the black community. When you set July 4th and you start talking about barbecues and macaroni and cheese and stuff like that, when people haven't had it for almost over a year now, Joe, you're making some promises you're going to have to keep here. All right. Well, SB, we do seem to have a few people in the audience tonight. Kind of sorry that no one else wanted to come on besides Tim. But if you do decide to press the link, make sure you link, and we'll give you a little time to talk about some of the subjects that we have wanted to talk about. Sorry, we couldn't get the champ Lamon in tonight. I know. Just like K9, Scully is committed to a fighter, and he had a few things to do tonight. Hopefully, we'll get these people back on next week. I especially am interested to get the little Nick and Canine segment on. Those of you that watched the Povetkin Dylan White fight, um, fourth round stoppage. But that didn't look like the Povetkin of old. Of course, Father Time. Uh, he doesn't care about any of us. Father Time goes on, and he makes sure that we know that hey, as they say, sometimes time catches up with you. This was probably Povetkin's time, but fortunately or unfortunately, I'm thinking that there are still going to be a couple more paydays for Povetkin. He's going to be somewhat of he is somewhat of a gatekeeper, a European gatekeeper. I don't think we uh, in America, as far as American heavyweights, I don't think that we really we know that his best days are behind him. So for that reason, I don't think that we're going to have a lot of people thinking about Mr. Povetkin as a really a viable threat. Um, let's see if okay. Um, okay, just waiting for the young Jeremiah to come in to come in. Uh, and let me see if I made a mistake here. Yes, he'll be fighting on ESPN Plus or ESPN. Yeah, ESPN Plus. Those make sure you get your subscription for ESPN Plus. Um, a lot of good fights on there. They feature a lot of the young American guys. So make sure that you get this next ESPN Plus. And of course, the zone is back on. So make sure you watch those. Uh, White did a very good job. And yeah, Povetkin should retire. Yes, you're right. White hits really hard, but that's why I think, okay. Good evening. How are you doing tonight, sir?
All right, I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. So there are a lot of things that we have to talk about tonight. I see, first of all, that you're fighting on ESPN Plus on April 10th.
Yes, sir.
Do you know anything about your opponent?
No, not really anything about him. I just seen like a 30-second clip on him, and that's about it. He's coming off of a knockout victory, but I wasn't impressed with it. And I mean, I ain't been able to find like any sparring or any fight videos outside of that one.
Okay. So how long have you been fighting yourself?
This is my first year as a professional fighter, but I was a 3-year amateur, so this is fourth year altogether. Within that 4 years, I've been able to move at a pretty good pace.
So when did you first start boxing?
I took an interest in it when I was younger, when I was like 15, but I never actually competed till I was like 22. So I'm 26 right now.
Once again, I got to ask, what made you decide at that age that you decided you wanted to get in the ring and do this full time?
Um, I've always had a certain amount of confidence in myself, and knowing that if I was to really dedicate myself, because I'm a hard worker. One thing you can always control is your effort, and I just dedicated myself to the gym. I felt like that was where I was supposed to be. It's like something always kept calling me back to come to the gym, and so I just never left the gym. In a 4-year span, I just been in the gym.
Okay, so now a lot of times you have young fighters that are working their way into their man strength. At 26, do you think that you already have your man strength? Do you think that's kind of like behind you now, and you can concentrate on really getting your honing your craft rather than worrying about fluctuations in weight?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think my weight really moves around that much, but I have gotten a lot bigger. So when I competed in the amateurs, I was only like 215. Now I'm actually like 230, and I was able to do so well at a lighter weight. But I think a lot of it comes from just living the lifestyle too. You go through that transitional period where you in the gym, you spawn with high level athletes, and that you just kind of grow and you adapt to your environment. So I think I've gotten stronger being in my environment. Also learning to find my punches, learning to sit down here and there. You could kind of use your natural ability a little bit better.
Okay, now who's your trainer, and how long have you been with them?
So I've been working with Bones Adams since the beginning of this year. Earlier in the year, last year, I came and made my professional debut with Justin Gamber. That's Caleb Plant's coach, but made the transition over to Bones Adams, and that's been really smooth. We think a lot alike on strategy. So he's a offensive and defensive guy, but he likes to be a little bit more aggressive, and I like to do that too.
Okay, so you're out there in Bones Adams' gym. I've been fortunate enough to visit Bones out there before the COVID, so I know a little bit about Bones and about the gym and that. So you're in a very confined environment. I mean, it's not really accessible to the public,
Yeah.
but. Have you been able to? I know Bones does a lot of one-on-one work. He's been working for quite some time, but uh, how have you been able to fit that into what's been going on? With you guys are also a pretty tight knit family.
Yeah.
Are you doing sparring yet? Light sparring. I know you had the facilities laid out, as far as physical workouts, heavy bags, and things like that. But uh, how's your ring rust?
Oh yeah. The ring, no ring rust. Everything is really sharp. Everything is really in tune. We got a lot of heavyweights in this gym. Like you said, it's a private facility, so people ain't just rolling in there unless they get the AOK with from the man Bones itself. And on top of that, like you have, like I say, some of the, top heavyweights in Vegas out there. You know what I'm saying? So like we got Michael Hunter that comes in the gym, Johnny Rice over there. We got a really high level amateur that boxes out there, Skyler. So like there's just a lot of heavyweights pop up over there. Jared Anderson has came, but I never sparred with him. I was always out of town whenever he would come through. But yeah, it's like it's interesting. Everybody just pops up there. I heard FA popped up one time. Like I say, I've only been over there since the beginning of this year, so like I haven't seen everybody, but we get it in. We consistently work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know where we be.
Okay, and personality. Bones. I mean, some people could say that Bones is kind of an acquired taste because Bones takes care of business. He's not really he's kind of what we call back in the day a no nonsense guy. How did that mesh with you and your personality?
One thing about me, I'm strictly business. You know what I'm saying? I like to have a lot of fun. I can joke too. And I think we all cut up in there, man. It's like you said, it's like a family up in there. Everybody's really close. But at the end of the day, whenever I get up in there, man, I'm just thinking about, getting the job done for the day. And, then we can talk and we can kind of like BS a little bit on the side later. And I think that works out, you know what I'm saying? Like, our natures are very similar, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I think he likes me a lot, because he could tell like it's not a front with me. That's like I just come in and that's how I do it.
Uh, well, you knew it was coming sooner or later. Dreamland.
Yeah,
Where did it come from? How'd you get it? I mean, tell
absolutely.
us a little bit about that.
So Dreamland, actually I got the tattoo on my neck earlier last year, right before the end of last year, and it's kind of like my coming into own. Um, so Dreamland pretty much is like me being from Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where Black Wall Street was at. And so if you know anything about the history of that, they had a Dreamland Theater, Williams Theaters that used to be out there. That was home to a lot of the prominent, Black artists that would go perform there, and they would have movies and different things. Everything got burned down. That's part of the history during the massacre. You know, but I like to focus on the uh, the abundance and everything like that, the uplifting side of it before everything went to what it was. And Dreamland, it just came from, like my lifestyle over the last couple of years has been like a movie. A little project kid from the north side of Tulsa, traveling the world, crossing the seas, you know what I'm saying, fighting anybody, you know what I'm saying, pulling up on anybody, sparring with anybody, just going, you know what I'm saying. So it's been like a movie, man. I like to say my life has been somewhat of a movie. So Dreamland is fitting.
Now, Tulsa to Vegas.
Hmm.
Uh, Culture shock.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. It's a lot. Things are a lot bigger out here. Like there's a lot more activity, a lot more things happening. Um, it's funny though. I've been here for about a year, and I think I've settled in pretty good. Made it a home for sure. Tulsa will always be where I'm from, and my home too. But home be where you lay your head. And so yeah, it was definitely like some things that are different. I still get lost if I'm not driving to and from the gym. That's all I do. That's all I do. You know what I'm saying? I come home, I drink my water, and that's where I'll be at. But yeah, it's really nice out here. Really nice, and it really it's a really chill spot. You know what I'm saying? Just don't come out here with no vices, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, well, just you didn't have to worry about bringing no snow with you. That's for sure. Uh, yeah, but it does get. Were you well? Being from Oklahoma, I guess you were kind of used to those chilly nights and hot days, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, the summer out here in Vegas, that surprised me the most because that dry heat was definitely different. We get hot days in Tulsa and Oklahoma, but it don't be dry like that. And it don't just be like you walk out 5 o'clock in the morning and you like, whoa, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Usually back home you might see some dew on the leaves or something like that, but no, it's just straight hot. So so that was something new. You know what I'm saying? Really made you take care of yourself as an athlete because you might be able to get away with not drinking water out there. But if you try to do that out here, man, you pass out somewhere. At this level of training, it ain't gonna happen. Uh, so that was cool. But yeah, I was watching everybody back in February. I was actually in LA training with Charles Martin, and I seen them
Okay.
boys. I seen the boys back there sliding on that ice, and I was like, man, I ain't built for it. I don't know if I'm built for it.
Yeah, I moved out here from Pennsylvania, man. You know, like I tell people, the only time I want to see snow is if my cable went out. But that's you know. But you said you were a big boy. What you said 230 now? You walk around about 230?
Yeah, about 230, 235, and just slowly been increasing and stuff. It's not any rush to like put on a whole bunch of weight, you know what I'm saying? Like the skills always pay the bills. And make sure you know what you're doing in the ring, know how to move, know how to pop. I've been had pop. But we just putting some more things together, me and my team, which is like Coach Larry Wade and Paul Longworth and my manager Mike Leonardi and Victory Sports.
Okay, so have these guys always been a part of your team?
For the last year, yeah, for the last year, we've been, just trying to get everything together. It's been tough, just considering, the state of boxing's in right now in the world, but now things are starting to, clear up. I'm not gonna say go back to normal, but clear up. It's creating new opportunities.
Now, as a heavyweight, you don't have to worry about, uh, the scale, but what do you consider your optimal weight? When you see guys like, I'm going right to the top here, you see a guy like Tyson Fury, 35-inch stool. I mean, I know he's the exception rather than the rule, but,
Yeah,
you talking about guys, still 230, 240, 250. It only takes, one to the chin to put you to sleep.
yeah, exactly.
So, this is the one weight class where it doesn't always take an accumulation of punches. So, once again, like who are some of the, what do you think your optimal weight is, and uh, would you consider, or do you think that, like 230, do you think that there should be a super heavyweight class, or do you think that, are you kind of satisfied with that unlimited weight?
Yeah, I mean, the unlimited weight, it don't as a fighter, it don't bother me none. You know what I'm saying? I guess I can understand it from a business perspective. I mean, if the money's always right, you know what I'm saying, then that's what the people are going to gravitate towards. But for me, fighting is fighting. I've been I've been able to share the ring with some pretty big guys, some pretty heavy punches, some different size people, such as like Joe Joyce and just some things like that. So like and Danny Dubois, he was a really big puncher, I believe. Uh, and yeah, none of it's been able to shy me away from the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the heavyweight division, like you say. This is where people thrive when getting off on that one shot, and then that's the night. But that being said, you just gotta prepare and train and know what you go stepping into. If you ever feel any type of pullback or pushback, then you probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place. So
Now, do you come from a big family? Are you a family man yourself?
yeah, I got so I have five older brothers. I'm the youngest of six. And I have my son now. He was born last year. His birthday was actually March 16th. I went home for that. But outside of that, man, yeah, just we was always, somewhere like, I was always getting picked on by them. They was trying to for till I was about 13. Then I just started turning the tables on everybody. So yeah. I mean, used to it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't always big. Definitely wasn't always the biggest. So I think that gives me a lot of heart and a lot of fight in me.
Uh, you spoke of, like being out there with Bones for a year, and you said your son is just a little over a year old. Was there a coincidence in between you moving to Las Vegas and trying to make a better life for yourself and the birth of your son?
Oh, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a huge influencer on, why I came out here to begin with, and just why, what's keeping me out here now. You know what I'm saying? What's keeping me, in the fight, keeping me steady, keeping me hungry. You know what I'm saying? One day be able to provide a better life, and to be there and make sure that he can, always not need for nothing. I mean, he's in really good hands, but it's something to have, so your daddy, he can be proud of his daddy. You know what I'm saying? Proud of his daddy whenever you look up.
And were you born and raised in Tulsa?
Yeah. So we were actually living in California, but our house burned down when I was really young. So then we came back to Tulsa, and I've been in Tulsa ever since. Outside of that, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the only place I knew up until a few years ago, and it seems like now. I've traveled so much, man. I've just seen so many things. I've been able to bring back different ideas and concepts. It's been really nice.
And I guess being from Oklahoma, there's not a lot of history as far as champions coming from Tulsa, but you did mention the black stock market and things of that nature. Did you go to finish your high school out in Tulsa, and did you play any other sports?
Yeah, I did. So I played football my senior year, and then decided to walk on to a college university. I had a 52 walk-ons. Only 2 of us got scholarships. I was one of those 2, and then stayed there. Had things going really good for me with that, but like I said, my heart wasn't in it, so I actually walked away from that. And I always listened to my mom, coming up, and she always told me to, follow my dreams and my passions and stuff. And the only reason why I didn't box earlier in my life is because she didn't want me to at the time. Being respectful to her, I didn't want to, disrespect her. And then college football offered me an opportunity, to get out of my environment, and it helped me expand my thinking and everything like that. So it was a blessing, to get that opportunity.
Okay, now I see a picture there behind you. I can't really make out what it is, but I'm going to assume that since you moved there from Tulsa, you had to bring that from Tulsa with you.
Yeah, that's a roster line, you know what I'm saying? I've had that since my college days actually, and it's moved around with me. I've kept it. It's been right here with me. It's kind of like just I surround myself with like different pictures and stuff, so I got a couple different things that just motivate me and stuff like that. So I got the Ali photo over here. As soon as I come up my stairs, the first thing I'm gonna see, what I'm saying, is Ali in the back, right there.
Okay, all right.
So yeah.
So you seem to surround yourself with a lot of positive things. Do you have any type of spiritual background at all?
Yeah, I mean, I was raised in the church. I was raised. We was raised Baptist for a while. Then my mom ended up going to a Pentecostal church. She was apostolic. Was raised, very strictly from the ages like 15. Really, I had a lot of freedom whenever before we joined that church. Then I was in church like 5 times a week. But I would try to sneak out. I would try to get out with mom. She'd make sure I go. And then I started going on my own. And I met some really good mentors. And I still talk to some of them to this day. And, they really helped me out.
What was that conversation with your mom like? When you told her that, Mom, I want to punch guys in the face for a living.
the same as when I was a kid. It wasn't no different. It was what, because I mean, I was already in school too, and nobody had known that like my desires were changing, and so like instead of waste my own time and going to debt, not fully focused on school, I decided that I would just start training on the side and get my mind right, see if I really wanted to do it. And when I said I was all in, I was really all in. And I told her about it, and she was nervous at first, but then she came to my first fight, and she's been my biggest supporter ever since. Like, she don't think, I lost a couple amateur fights, and she was always shocked. She was, what I'm saying? She just know I don't play. She know I'm serious. She, so it was like really nothing but love and support from her.
So what's your record now?
I'm 2-0 currently as a professional. 2-0. This will be my 3rd bout coming April 10th, and we gonna turn that to 3-0.
Now, is this a 4-rounder, an 8-rounder? How's your progression going here?
Yeah, so this is a 4-rounder. I talked to my team, and this will probably be my last 4-rounder, and then we'll jump up So yeah, this is a 4-rounder here, but you know, I'm prepared to do I'm prepared to do more. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna go that long either. I don't see it going 4 rounds.
Okay, sounds like Dreamland is getting ready to put somebody to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Send it to the dream.
uh, so are you going to be a part of the televised part, or are you the last bout before that we go to the televised part?
No, yeah, my bout will be televised, so I have a chance to, you know what I'm saying, get mine televised and uh, be out there on the national spotlight. So I'll definitely make sure the people remember who I am.
Now, I was just notified by one of my audience, and I don't know why this didn't click to me right away because I came up during this era. But it was also mentioned that one of the top heavyweights, James Quick Tillis, is from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Did you know anything about Quick Tillis?
Oh yeah. Everybody know James out that way. You know, it's funny. He was at one of my fights. I was fighting and I didn't get to catch him, so I didn't get to say anything to him. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't officially met him. I know he's family members wanted Coach Reed out there. Me and Coach Reed, really solid man. We go really long, really way back. But yeah, James is out from out there. You know, we had Alan Green who fought in the Super Six against Andre Ward, National Golden Gloves winner, really talented. But yeah, you know, I'm trying to, you know, follow in those footsteps and, you know, and go beyond, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's nothing but love from them. You know, James has passed words to me through other people, you know what I'm saying? So I'm appreciative of that.
Um, right now, I know you're only 2-0, and you know, like you say, you're just kind of getting your feet wet. But when you look at your style, are you a boxer puncher, or you know, I mean, what do you think? You know, are you going to be one of those guys that you know you intend to have you know, a long career, or do you intend to just you know like you know? I don't want to say you know just you know, mop your way through the heavyweights, but you do seem to be a pretty big boy there. And, you know, I'm not going to, you know, give you no lip. Well, I can now because we're very far away, but, you know, but what are some of your expectations? And, you know, like you say, you're thinking that this is going to be your last 4-rounder. So, you know, that would mean that, you know, it's what, April? So, I'm assuming by September, October, you'd want to get a 6 or an 8-rounder in.
Yeah.
You know, kind of, you know, take us through what your ideal year would be.
Definitely seeking longevity in the sport. You know, I think um, that's what my manager and everybody, you know what I'm saying, what they sought out for me about. You know, we're seeking to be up amongst the top. So I think the progression we're on right now is just a steady one, and we kind of evaluate it fight for fight. And then, you know, I understand like they've been through this process and stuff like that, so I have to allow them to also help guide me through that as well.
Right now, you know, considering you know where you are, who do you think is the top heavyweight in the world right now?
Oh, I mean, top heavyweight, I would have to go ahead and give that to Fury. Um, I believe after his performance, what he was able to show, his adjustments coming back into the fight, you know, without a doubt, it's definitely Fury. You know, he's still the unbeaten. You know, he has that controversial draw with Wilder, uh, but it seemed to me like he made the right adjustments, and he took the fight to Wilder, which is something that nobody expected him to do. He just looked like a different animal in there.
And did you get a chance to watch the Povetkin Dylan White fight this weekend?
I did. I seen that, and you know, it looked like it looked like Povetkin's legs or something was just shot from the jump. I don't know. I think he's coming to the end of everything. You know, he's a very dangerous dude. I actually picked him in the first fight. I picked him in the first fight to beat White. Me and my manager, we was just talking about it. You know, he's got a hell of a pedigree. You know, so I always thought he was, you know, one of those guys that's just super dangerous. But Styles make fights. You know, he got the draw with Mike Hunter. I knew that was the style I was going to take to really, you know, get him. But I didn't think White's boxing style was really like effective. Because, you know, I've seen him get caught in the chin and that happened. You know what I'm saying? He gets sparked out a couple times.
What do you think about a possible fight between Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte?
Nah. I mean, that's not really a fight. Nobody, you know. I mean, they can sit here and try to hype it up for the TV, but you know, who's interested? Who's really interested in that? I think White just gets sparked out maybe in like 2 or 3. You know, he can't avoid taking the shot. Wilder's too big, too athletic. And no.
Well, now I know it's not the fight that we necessarily wanted to see, but if you have the rumors that if they're true, no one's shown any papers yet, but supposedly Joshua and Fury have signed a 2-fight deal, and maybe you know, there's talks of both of them giving up their belts in order to make the money. You know, and it kind of freezes Deontay out, which is kind of something that I was saying, you know, a little while ago. So, since I mean, do you ever think, you know, if we have a 2-fight deal with Fury and Joshua, do you think that we're going to see the winner fight Deontay Wilder?
I don't know. I don't really. There's a couple sides to that. Like, you know,
yes, that's it.
yeah, a couple sides to that. I don't think because Wilder, you know, I'm definitely not discrediting Wilder. I think, you know, he is always dangerous, and that fight between him and Joshua could possibly go either way, you know, at all times. But just because the ability, you know, until Joshua shows that he's starting to develop more toe game, he can move around, you know, be a little bit more loose and not as robotic. Not saying like, you know, he ain't strong as all get out, but you know, when it comes down to just boxing and boxing skills, Tyson Fury takes that. So like the 3 of those 2 up there, they seem so interchangeable on the night, you know. So you got to be really careful. I believe Wilder should get a rematch with Tyson Fury just to go ahead and squash everything. But then that might, you know, dump his whole career if he loses again. So I don't know. But they're very interchangeable. It's not like you know, Wilder got the one trick, but it's a very good trick.
Yeah, like a very, very good trick. You say what? The what? 40 guys have shown that. Do you consider your? I forgot to ask you. Do you consider yourself a knockout puncher?
Yeah, I believe, you know, I possess the power, you know, to get guys out of there. You know what I'm saying? I think for me, it's more find the shot and placing the shot. Make sure I can do it, you know, get off when it needs to be, you know, let off. But yeah, I definitely carry the power. And when you ask me if I'm a boxer, puncher, whatever, it's really for whatever it calls for. You know what I'm saying? I could box you out, or you know what I'm saying, I could bang you out of there. It just depends on what you're asking for.
Now, now, Bones is, you know, more of a technician than you know. I mean, he was the same way, you know, in the ring, even though he had, you know, the heart of a lion like you have back there behind you. But you know, do you find having, you know, a smaller guy with that much heart, does it instill a big guy like you?
Oh, for sure, for sure. You know, when I'm watching when I'm watching the way he's trying to get his point across and his passion about it and his approach to it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we get on the heavy bag, we work, you know what I'm saying? We get on the pads and we work. You know, I don't think, you know, because some guys can't all train heavyweights, you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful about that. You know, you get around people and they have you doing something like a light guy. But no, he's very effective in what he does, and I think that's the technician you're talking about.
Yeah. That's definitely it. Well, Jeremiah, was good having you on the show. Now, you know, I'm gonna make a commitment to you, and I'm gonna see if you live up to it. Okay.
So,
If you win on the 10th, we'll have you back.
let's go. We're coming back.
So I'm gonna put that on my calendar. Jeremiah Milton.
Sir.
And we're gonna book you for the same time. Now, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here. So I'm gonna put the onus on you. Are you gonna be here 3-0?
I'm gonna be at 3-0. 3-0. We're gonna be talking about the next one.
All right then. All right. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at? Give us your final thoughts for the night, and I look forward to having you back in about 14 days.
About 14 days, we'll run it right back.
All right then.
This is Jeremiah Dreamland Milton. You can find me at Dreamland_Milton on Instagram. You know, I appreciate the Dog Pound for having me on tonight, man. And we talking about my town, Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where my fight is gonna be. The city that born and raised me and molded me. You know, I got a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz around this fight, man. You know, so I'm feeling great about it. Yeah, just stay tuned and keep up with the journey. You know.
Hey, we'll be there step by step with you. But I'm gonna tell you, man. You know, it's embarrassing to lose in your hometown, man.
It would be.
You know. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. I'll see you in 14 days.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. You have a great night. Looking forward to having you back.
Pleasure.
All right. Well, that was Mr. Jeremiah Dreamland Milton. Great little interview. Love talking to these young fighters. SB, is there anybody that wants to come on before we get up out of here?
What is good?
What's up, Nick Brown? How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you very well.
Good. So how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you and where are you from?
I'm just here today to talk about the K9 and the...
Go ahead.
The K9, Ben Askren, and Jake Paul boxing match upcoming.
Yeah, I know K9 had told me that he had intended to bring you on tonight. He's training Ben. He'll be back on next week, and we definitely want to have you on. I hear some kind of feedback.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say thank you very much for having me on. And, you know, K9, I heard he's training Ben and everything, and I know he's doing a great job with that, but at the same time, and, you know, when it comes down to it, boxing kind of ain't a game. And at the end of the day, Jake Paul is going to go in there. He's already had 3 professional fights, and we're going to see what happens come April 17th.
Turn your volume down a little bit, Nick. We're getting feedback. Turn your volume down
a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's much better. So how did you become a fan of Jake?
Turn it back on. Tell him you can't hear him. I can't really hear you through here.
Do you have a set of earphones?
Turn it up.
Sam, you can't hear him.
I can't hear you through my thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll make the best that we can. And turn it back up a little bit. So when did you become a fan of Jake?
Okay, there we go. I can kind of hear you now. But I've been watching this show for a while now, and I'm a big fan of K9, and I've seen everything. I've watched boxing and all that for a while now, and I'm a big fan, of Jake Paul. Certainly, there's a lot of people who disrespect him in this sport, and I feel like people at least have to give him the chance. And when it comes to it, Jake has had enough professional fights right now, and Ben Askren, he's just upcoming. This is his debut, and when it comes down to it, Jake has enough experience, and I think people are really underestimating the kid.
You think 3 fights is enough?
I think
Looks not exactly sure what what happened there. Jabril, did you get did you see that link? Well, hopefully K9, you can tell Nick that when he comes on next week to get a set of headphones, and maybe we can get him on, and we'll be able to hear. A lot of people don't know that that it's much easier if you have a set of earphones, and it cuts out the feedback from putting yourself on speakerphone. So yeah, Jabril, if you want to hit that link, and you can come in for a few minutes before we come off the air. So I'm going to give Jabril a few moments, see if we can get Jabril in. And I really, really, really am looking forward to. No, well, hey, a lot of people think boxing is just a matter of just climbing through the ropes too, K9. So you know you you never know what it's like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a game plan until you get hit. So with that being said, K9, I hope that the weather's not too bad out there. Uh, um, just to kind of keep people abreast of what's happening with myself. Um, I am appearing on a weekly broadcast in the Twin Cities. That's from Minneapolis, St. Paul. We are discussing the trial of Mr. George Floyd. So every Saturday morning, you can catch me on the podcast with the community leaders of St. Paul, talking about the events of the trial. I know this is a boxing show, but I just wanted to mention that very quickly. Also, we are seeing that there's another ladies pay-per-view coming up, and it also has some very good bouts on it. And we're glad to see that the ladies are making such inroads into our sport, and we look forward to when this COVID thing is over and we can get butts back in seats. Um,
There we go. Okay, there we
Okay.
go. I fixed it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Nick, there you go.
So I saw what K9 was saying there, that he ain't ready, but when it comes down to it, Ben Askren, April 17th. Jake Paul, I'm calling it right now, second round knockout.
Oh, and so is this going to be another beatdown like Nate?
Oh, yes, it will. I think this is going to be ending violently for him. I think that K9's done a great job at that. At the end of the day, MMA, UFC is different than boxing. And this is going to end so differently than it is. Jake Paul is another human being that is better than himself than he has the past couple of weeks. And if you look at every video of his, he is a professional at the end of the day, and this will lead to the Conor McGregor fight.
But Jake's only had 3 fights.
Yeah, and I know where you're getting that from. He's only had 3 fights, but at the end of the day, the money makes sense. The fight makes sense. And I know they weren't against real good opponents, but at the end of the day, you look at his speed, his power, his punching. It's unlike any other, but at the end of the day, this is boxing, and they have to realize that MMA, UFC, you're on your feet and you're just going at it, but this is kind of different than anything else.
And what is it about Jake, that inspires you to have such confidence in him?
So confidence, I mean, he's just a good human being overall, his might, and he always works through what everyone says. Everyone always doubts him whenever he's in the boxing ring or outside the world, and I think people really underestimate the kid, and that's what fuels him up, and I think that people are really underestimating him in this boxing match, and I think this is going to end in another violent KO.
Do you think that he should consider taking on boxing as a full-time profession?
Yes, I do. That is a very good question, and I think Jake and his trainer BJ would agree that this is something that he should do full term, and I think he could be a prize fighter at the end of the day when it comes to it.
Well, hey, from the money that he's taken home, he's already a prize fighter. We can't really,
Yeah.
So I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But
yeah, the kid has a lot of money. At the end of the day, he has a lot of money that he can do whatever he wants in life. But I think Jake is really taking this sport serious. He's really respecting everything, and when he steps in that ring, he knows what he's doing. He looks sharper than ever, and he's coming for Ben. He shouldn't have done what he did at the press conference, and I think this is going to end in another violent KO for Ben. He shouldn't have stepped up to him and put his hand in his face, because at the end of the day, he knows what he's doing.
Someone asked me, it says Jake needs to hire Waterboy. Would you be interested in that job?
Shoot. Jake doesn't need it, man. BJ Flores, his whole team, I can call them out right now and just be saying everything they need to. I mean, BJ Flores, he's been doing a great job. He's a professional fighter. He's been training Jake as well as he knows, and I've kind of been in contact, and, I just think that Ben isn't ready, He did get hit with a flying knee from Masvidal, but I think he got kind of cut off by that, and I think this is going to be kind of different, but it's going to end in the same as a KO.
Would you, if as you say, Jake won this fight in the second round or knocked him out, made him kind of look bad, would you take a rematch as an MMA fight?
Oh, shoot. I mean, in an MMA fight, I bet Dana White, I mean, he has to put his money where the mouth is,
Well, he put they say he put $1 million on Ben.
I know he put $1 million on him, but let's make it 2 mil. Let's make it 2 mil at least. But I think that Dana White, he needs to see that he's a good fighter overall, and he needs to look at the videos and everything to make sure that he knows what he's getting into.
But you didn't answer my question. I said, if Ben won this fight as a boxer, would you take the next fight or another fight with Ben as a UFC fight?
Yes, I would definitely. I think it comes down to it. If he's willing to step in the ring, he's willing to get in the cage as well.
Hmm. Boy, I wonder if you got some checks there that Jake might not want to cash there. You know, it's a little different in that when like you talking about that flying knee.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it is a little bit different.
And I
But
and I know K9 is watching, and I have one thing to say to him. K9, if you're seeing this, man, you guys aren't ready. This is going to end in another violent KO, and you guys aren't going to be ready at the end of the day.
now, what's your background that makes that makes you think that you're giving a valid prediction here to our audience?
Well, my valid prediction is I'm stepping into the sport too, and I've been watching a lot of it. Even the Mike Tyson, he inspires me a lot. Roy Jones inspires me. A lot of those older fighters that really people still watch to this day, but the older generation kind of haven't been watching for a long time. But I think this sport is really reviving as it is nowadays, and I think boxing is making a big comeback.
What did you think about Oscar's announcement that he was coming back into the ring?
Honestly, I liked it. Oscar De La Hoya, man, that dude was a beast, and I think this is going to be a really good comeback for him, and I'm really excited to see what happens there.
Okay, I got a couple questions for you here now.
Yes, shoot away.
Because my first thing, was as soon as I heard him coming back, the first thing I thought about was a possible rematch between Oscar and Floyd.
Yes, yes.
And then the second thing I thought about, there is a history between K9 and Oscar.
Oh yeah, K9 and Oscar. That kind of sounded good to me. I mean, I would have loved to see that. I think that would be a good match overall.
So, would you like to see that match now?
Yes, I would. Honestly, I mean, K9, he does inspire me in a lot of ways. I mean, in boxing, everything goes. He's got a lot of great aspects with him in boxing, and I know he could go a long way with it. And as me, he inspires me a lot. So, in this boxing thing that I'm getting into, I think it's going to be a really good inspiration for me as well, for others as well coming into the sport.
Okay, now did you start following boxing because of guys like Ben, or were you always? I mean, excuse me, guys like Jake, or were you always?
So it kind of started with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones overall, and then it kind of when Jake Paul came into the sport, I kind of started watching him and all of his boxing and everything with BJ Flores, and I've just been inspired by him. When he gets negative comments about him or anything about his career, it just is sad to see because people come up there and just disrespect him in ways. And I think a lot of people underestimate him in a lot of ways that he doesn't like, and that gets him fueled up to go into the next match and have enough what he can prove.
Well, hey, Nick, I'm glad that you came on tonight. K9 will be on next week, and I'll make sure that.
I would love to come on next week, but K9, one more thing, man. Thank you for letting me come on, but at the end of the day, you know what's going to happen. Second round KO. The dog is coming.
Hey, we'll see. I'm going to make sure that we book you for next week, and I'll leave a spot open for you.
K9, the dog is coming. The dog is coming. Thank you very much, guys.
All right. You have a good night, Nick.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah. I see we have Jabril in the queue. Jabril, how are you doing tonight?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How are you doing?
Okay, let's see.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Nice to meet you, Mr. King.
How are you doing tonight, Jabril?
Let's see. Okay, buddy. Yeah, doing okay. Yeah, I was
Uh,
caught the show a little late.
yeah,
Yeah.
it seems we're on a little delay here, but I can still hear you. What did you think about Oscar's announcement that he was coming back to fight? What did you think about Oscar's announcement that he was coming back to fight?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a little bit dangerous for him unless he fights maybe Fernando Vargas in a revenge fight or somebody somebody in that particular, in the same era that's making a comeback.
Well, do you think, as I've been saying, do you think that it's possible that Oscar's doing this so that we can see Oscar Floyd too?
Oh boy, I think Floyd's kind of done with the boxing business. I think he's well established money wise, and I think he would still beat Oscar. Floyd has been Floyd's been a little more active than Oscar, I think. Even with the little small fights, but I yeah, Oscar. I don't think Oscar's he think he can do it, but he was one of my favorite fighters years ago, Oscar.
Well, what do you think about Oscar turned down a fight with K9 years ago? What do you think about a possible fight with K9?
Oh man, that K9, K9 is it's too hard. That K9, K9 is dangerous. Yeah, he's really dangerous.
Yeah, you know, right now K9's smiling from ear to ear. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Because he's listening to us. So yeah, uh, but
Yeah, man.
who, who do you think is the best fighter that Golden Boy has right now? Virgil Ortiz or Ryan Garcia?
You know, a lot of people underestimate Ryan Garcia.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
Um,
I'll
but
put up my hand. I'm
yeah,
one of them.
and I could see why. He's and it's easy to see why. But they say he has slow feet.
Well, it's not so
It
much.
kind of reminds me of a small version of oh, sorry.
No, I was saying it's not so
False.
much the slow feet as I don't really trust his chin against some of the heavier hitters.
Yeah, he's in a situation. It kind of reminds you of, like, they said the same thing with Cassius Clay, but some of these guys, even I don't know. Aaron Pryor, before he fought Alexis Arguello, I didn't give him a chance. And I've just seen some strange stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that the stranger things haven't happened, but
Yeah,
when you look at the performance of Virgil Ortiz
yeah,
and you look at that, that well, hey, for one of this show, that K9 mentality, man. I mean, I just have to wonder, like, could Ryan dig down, and pull out a fight like that? Because I'm sure that it would take all of, his intestinal fortitude. Virgil's going to try to hit you everywhere, including your ankles. So I mean, it would just, I would wonder.
Yeah, yeah,
I would wonder if Ryan would have enough power to get some of those, like I said, a Virgil Ortiz uh, or a Tank. Could he stop? Could he get those guys off of him? That's my concern there.
yeah. I think he has the ability to. He has that backup left hook, somewhat like Sugar Ray Robinson. Like he can catch you going back with a fast, hard left hook. Like which is kind of awkward.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
it's
very
very
fast
awkward.
with that thing. Yeah. And Tank seems to run in. Tank is. You'd have to be. I think it would take run in like.
Well, I
And
mean,
Tank is dangerous too. But I think Tank would get too aggressive. I think he had to be. Sorry.
yeah, okay. And you think,
More of a classic boxer. Yeah.
do you think Virgil would have more patience than Tank?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Virgil's size and I think his size would play and his guts. And I'm not saying Tank doesn't have guts, but I think Virgil is like tested. He just beat Hooker, and I think his size would be more equivalent. Not that size always, but I think, yeah, I kind of feel like Ryan looks at Tank like Foreman looked at Frazier.
Okay.
Yeah, like power puncher, but if he shoves him off like George and keeps his distance, he'll make him run into that left hook. And I think Ryan does a very fast left hook, and yeah, I don't know. Tank is, but anything can happen.
Yeah, most definitely. Uh, well, Jabril, it was nice talking to you, man. I wanted to get you on the show and get some of your insights. Anywhere on social media people could find you?
Yeah.
Any final thoughts you want to give our audience tonight?
Yeah, I social media. I'm not really that big on it, but I have I have Jabril Art. I'm an artist, so
Okay.
I have my art on Facebook. Yeah, and so
Do you draw portraits? Do you draw action
I'm
things?
trying to work with the church. Yes, I wish I got my camera working. I do portraits, paintings, um, 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 drawings,
Are they
any medium. I do painting,
are they on your Facebook page?
Some of those, yes. Some are on the Facebook page as well. Yes.
Oh well, look forward to
I just put
getting
some new
a
ones. I just put some new ones on.
look forward to getting a friend request from me. I try to follow a lot of different people. A lot of my fellow Vietnam veterans artist, and they do a lot of T-shirts and silk screens and things like that. Maybe we could, influence you or make you
Yeah.
some connections
Okay.
like that. K9, he's boxing. His son is always boxing.
Yeah.
Maybe, we could, get you to do, some of those renderings that we always see on, different sports channels. We hope that you always come in and listen to our show. We appreciate your comments and thank you so much for being on the Dog Pound. We appreciate your comments and thank you so much for being on the Dog Pound.
Thank you, sir, Mr. King. So nice to meet you, and I really, would try to connect with you for get some, artwork done, and I can, I actually lost my uncle a few years ago. He was a Vietnam vet too.
So sorry to hear that. There's so many of my brothers that are gone. I appreciate his service, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we might have come across each other during our travels, but I appreciate his service, and I appreciate the sacrifices that your family has made for us. So, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I look forward to talking to you again. So, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Yes, and I'll stay and always watch the show, and thank you, Mr. King. Really, very positive and real, real talk. Real, you guys have real good boxing experience.
Well, thank you so much, Jabril. As I said, look for a friend request from me, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you have a great one. Nice meeting you, sir. And yes.
Thank you. You have a great one. Well, SB, it's that time again. Looks like K9 will be back with us next week. We'll get Nick back in, and I'd like to get a couple other guests back in. And as always, great job back there behind the scenes. Thanks some of the fans for coming in and talking with me tonight. Hey, K9 will be back next week. I'll be back next week. Look forward to having you right back here again on the Dog Pound. Have a great night. See you next week, everyone.